Hey, watch fans, welcome back. We're going to be talking about independent watch brands. Should you avoid them? I'm talking about the Mosers, the DeBethunes, all that stuff. But first, ironically, we got the ROLEX Yacht Master on the wrist. And I'll tell you what are the great things about this watch. Let me adjust the sleeve so you can better see the beauty of this. The real beauty of this watch, of course, is that rotating bezel. The bezel, which is, of course, in rose gold. Beautifully executed. Look at this beautiful chocolate. Of course, I have this to match the interior. All right, classics, baby. Of course, the headliner. It's all got to match. Things have to match. It's not just about matching, the watch to the whatever, right? We take it to the next level here. But we're going to be talking about the independent watch brands. Let me get this wrist. It's a little bit chilly here. I don't like to put the heat on. But first, let me explain to you what I love about the Yacht Master. Why I think this is one of the best buys in the Rolex catalog. Now, I did a video. I said I love the Datejust 41 with that blue or that green dial. I think it's a magnificent watch. But if you needed one watch, I believe the Yacht Master is the one. I know this is one of those, cliche type of videos, but I'll tell you why I'm doing this video. It's very practical. Again, you have the timing function of the bezel, right? The bezel. There is, of course, everybody, talks about the Submariner. Yes, you can turn the bezel to get the timing, but it only turns one way. It's hard to turn, and of course, the Submariner, the case it's a bulkier case. It's not elegant. Look how well this sits on the wrist. It's very elegant, beautiful. It's just a much more elegant watch, much more refined than the Submariner by a long shot, right? And I actually use the function all the time. Like right now, I'm using it, right? If you notice, I have the bezel, the timing, that little arrow up top that's turned, so about 5 minutes in. Now, why am I using this? Because I need to run my car for about 10 minutes to reset. I think there's some sort of sensor. There's a sensor. I think there's a what do you call it? A catalyst sensor. There's a catalyst sensor, and apparently you got to run the engine for 10 minutes. And then drive it a whole bunch. There's some sort of catalyst sensor, and I need to get this thing registered. I haven't driven in a while because of, I can't get it smogged. I don't know. In America, so a lot of these states, they have these smog bullshit things you need to, in order to register a car. Anyhow, by the way, this is an incredible value. I think you can get one of these for $12,000. Now, are you going to make money with the Yacht Master? No. Look, the prices went to the moon. I think I paid like $12 for this, maybe 4 years ago now. Yeah, 4 years ago. The prices went to like 18. They went ballistic, right? And again, I was very specific about the two-tone. I just love the chocolate, the rose gold. I think it's a good look. And the stainless, the gray, I told you, I'm not a fan of that. But again, what was that sound? There we go. It's 12 cylinders for you, baby. Speaking of good value, right? Great value on this watch. This is the Bentley Flying Spur. Now, I paid for this about $33,000, I think, a couple years back. Also, I think 4 years ago, ironically. It had 30,000 miles. This is the best car I've ever had. And the maintenance has been nothing. I mean, every once in a while, something, you got to pay $1,000 every once a year. You got to change something out. But again, why is that? Well, because this is a Volkswagen. That's right. It's really a Volkswagen car. It's based on the Volkswagen Phaeton platform. It's the best car that Volkswagen ever made. Volkswagen, Audi, Bentley, Audi, Volkswagen, Lamborghini, and it used to be Bugatti. They were all under one roof. Very much like the Swatch Group, like the way the Breguet and Jacques Droz, my favorite, well, not my favorite, but what is it, the Omega, they're all under one roof, right? And they interchange technologies. It works. It's the same thing what VW was doing, the watch guys are doing. But anyway, look, bottom line is I keep getting distracted. I got to get this thing to about 12-15 minutes before I could leave. So I'm using this see, look, I'm multitasking here. I'm doing this multitasking here very, very cleverly with you. Maybe I could use this as a write-off. Look at this cognac, beautiful cognac. I mean, really unbelievable. I'm sitting here in the back. Normally I'd sit in the front, but the back is, you know, I don't really get to sit in the back that much. But this is where, you know, this is where all the action is, my friends. Let me show you. This is how the other half lives, baby. Not the other half, maybe not even the 1%, maybe the 2%. Oh, by the way, so here's the great thing about this car. Look, you're getting a Bentley for 30 grand. You could probably get one of these now, like an 06, for about 30 grand. I think this is the best bang for the buck. Where else can you get? I mean, the car is incredible, right? I mean, you're not going to get that type of. First of all, it drives amazing, low maintenance. I mean, I haven't had that many cars in my life. I've had an Audi A4 Cabriolet. I had a Range Rover. That was a disaster. 2004 Range Rover I bought used. Don't ever make that mistake. That cost me more than this car probably in repairs. And what else did I have? I had an Audi station wagon. I'm a station wagon fan. What's going on here? Yeah, no, it's all good. Okay. Anyhow, so yeah, I'm all about value, as you can see, right? I mean, this is all about getting most bang for the buck. Now again, with the Submariner, it's not the same. They just 41, beautiful with the blue or that minty green dial, magnificent, but it's not practical. You don't have the timing function. Like, I would not be able to know that, 12 minutes elapse. I'm going to let this go for about 12 minutes, right? The 12 minutes elapse. No, you don't know. Don't tell me about the Daytona, okay? The Daytona with a time. Nobody uses that. This is simple. You turn the bezel and you're done, okay? You turn the bezel and you're done. I like to keep things simple. And also, the turnograph is another one that works. But, I figured I'd put this one on because, well, kind of matches the outfit today. It matches. Oh yeah, I do have to have driving gloves because this steering wheel, sadly, I mean, this is a disgrace. It's not heated. It is not the burl wood is not heated. That is a disgrace to humanity. But yeah, I highly recommend you get. So this is my two picks, Bentley and Rolex. Now, I was going to tell you about the independent. Yeah, let's talk about the independent brands. It's funny, actually, I thought about this today because I was reading the Wall Street Journal. And remember, guys, I told you about that. I was talking about the independent brands, and I mentioned that, the lady, the art, she had the Basquiat painting. I was going to, this was back when I was an art dealer. I was trying to buy this Hungarian Fulvis painting from this lady, and, it turned out she drove me absolutely nuts, and, we couldn't do a deal. Even I brought a certified check. She wouldn't take my money. She thought I was trying to scam her. Believe it or not, I'm shocking. I don't know, for some reason, the great thing about real con artists, they're believable. That's the thing. Like, like a guy Anthony, some of these other grifters out there. That's where they're con artists. They're believable. But the real people who are legit, it's like. It's hard to believe them sometimes. I have that curse, I believe. It's like I'm too honest. Anyway, ironically, I'm reading the Wall Street Journal today, and there's a whole story about her family, the crazy family. This $1 billion art collection. Of course, that the Basquiat painting came up. That's right, the painting that was in her hallway, that was in the crate I was telling you about. You got to watch that video. But anyway, it reminded me about the story about independent watch brands. What's the deal with the independent brands? It's very similar. This is what I was going to mention in the last video. I didn't say. There's a crazy psychology. Who buys these independent brands? There's two types of buyers. Okay, it's just like contemporary art. It's the same thing, right? There are those who buy. Yeah, they just like it. They love it. They don't give a shit what anybody thinks, and they just they may have that one painting because they think it looks good in their house, right? They think it looks good in their house for whatever reason, even if it's like, I don't know, it's a piece of shit, right? Or it looks like shit for most people, right? If it's like some minimalist thing, or it's like, I don't know, whatever, some crazy thing. And then there are those who they buy it for, because of, they don't really, they buy because of the historical value, the whole psychology, the whole the story. They buy the story, not so much the aesthetic. They're buying the story. And those are the weirdest people. Those people are like, I think, deeply disturbed. But that's about, 75-80% of the contemporary art market. The people who are buying that stuff, 80% of them fit that. And the same thing with independent brands, right? If you look at H. Moser, or this brand that these guys are spruiking, they're trying to spruik you onto those, what the hell is it? The DeBethune. I mean, it's an ugly watch. The DeBethune, I think, is an ugly watch. I get it. There's the story. They're trying to sell you on the story and this and that and the whole whatever. Yeah, there's... And by the way, it's valid. It's very valid. But the people who buy that, they have this sick mental thing where they need to wear it, not because they're buying the watch, not because they love the watch, it's useful. No, because they gotta, it's it scratches some psychological itch that it makes them feel better than everybody else, or that they're more intellectual or something, that they have this weird thing, and they basically have too much money. They have too much money. I mean, it's the reality. They have more money than they know what to do with, because anybody who buys a DeBethune really has more money than they know what to do with, or even a H. Moser. And H. Moser, I get it. It's a. And by the way, there's a whole bunch of these guys, and they're all great innovators. They're doing important work. I salute them 100%. But people who buy it for the appreciation value, most of these guys are not gonna appreciate. Trust me, it's money. I don't think they're gonna depreciate, but it's gonna be dead money, and maybe even you're gonna lose 50, 60, 70% over the next, let's call it 5-7 years, 10 years even, okay? Because the reality is, even with art doesn't, look, most contemporary art, 99% of it, I'm talking about legitimate stuff from like major galleries, 95% of it is worth less within 10 years. Most of these guys fade out. You never hear from them again. And, 1% of them, I was telling you about the Basquiat story. Yeah, see, I keep getting distracted. Yeah, the Basquiat story is based on that. So Basquiat is that one guy out of that group who were even better painters than him. The group of 80s artists, the East Village artists who came up with him, who showed at, Gracie Mansion Gallery, and what's his name, the Iranian guy. These guys they were better than him. For whatever reason, he became popular. Maybe he'll probably stay popular. I think it's a long-term thing. But the thing is this, guys, don't get suckered into these independent brands if these guys are trying to sell you, it's going to appreciate, it's this and that. No, it's not going to happen, okay? Because there's a whole bunch of these guys, and here's the thing, okay? I talk about innovation, right? Innovation. H. Moser, great stuff. Genius. MB&F, all these brands. Carry Volt, I don't even know. But here's the thing. There's going to be more and more innovation. It's going to be guys doing even greater, more important work. Next year, the year after that. Because again, they're all standing on the shoulders of giants. That's how innovation works. And what that means, okay, I said something very critical now. Okay, what that means is, if you're really hoping for that appreciation thing because it's historically important, your odds are you're going to miss out, because there's going to be something else that's going to become more important or significant or whatever, and your thing is not going to be, or H. Moser is not going to be seen as whatever, or the MB&F, not MB&F, but or like this guy DeBethune or whatever. So it's a very, very tricky landscape. So don't get suckered into buying these watches, because you want to like wear something that's unless the guy buying an H. Moser, the guy buying the H. Moser, unless you're liquid for 10 million plus, and you could afford to lose 50 grand, like it doesn't matter, then you could buy it. Okay, God bless. It's like entertainment value. You're going to lose half your money. It's okay. It's entertainment value. You've earned the money. You should have fun, right? But if you're like a guy, you're just the average working stiff, you're buying Rolexes or whatever, don't get scammed into that stuff. Don't be a sucker. Stick to the established stuff that appreciates steadily and it's money in the bank. Rolex, Patek, even AP. Buy at the right price. Do not pay over list. Buy vintage. Don't buy the hype pieces. You got to buy these things where you have no downside. Again, the big protection you have as investors is inflation, because these Swiss, they're going to keep raising prices 5-8% a year. What that means is the average watch is going to cost double in 5 to 7 years than what it costs today. Okay, that's what's going to happen. It's going to cost double. So what that means is, okay, my engine is good. Let's Let's see what happens here. There we go. All right, guys. I think I'm done with you knuckleheads. Bottom line is, yeah, inflation. It's gonna go 7-8%, and what that's gonna mean is the new price is gonna be double. This watch in 7 years is gonna cost 18 to 20 grand. Okay, a new one. So what that does is it gives you protection. That means it's gonna keep the vintage. This is gonna be vintage in 7-8 years. You know, it's going to keep those vintage prices stable. They're gonna increase because, you know, you're going to have a choice. Are you going to pay, you know, 18-20 grand in, you know, 7-8 years, or are you going to pay 15-16 for this? I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know. I don't see this as a, you know, a big appreciating model. I do see the turnographs. The turnographs, yes, but the Yacht Master is too new. It is not, you know, look, this watch, it's kind of like the Bentley Flying Spur. Okay, it's you're buying the watch because it actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, it's a value play. You're not buying this, you know, like as an investment. Turnograph, yes, absolutely. The Mosers, all those things. You know, if the companies are still around, and they may not be, the DeBethune may not be around, and by the way, that's not good. If you need parts or whatever, service, you're going to have problems. So the bottom line is you're going to want to stick to stuff. Look, Patek, you buy any, like a classic Patek now, it's not going to go out of style.